Welcome to Women of the Metaverse. I am Cheryl Laidlaw.
I am Angela Harkness. We have been and are still on a journey to discover the Metaverse, Web 3.0, NFTs, and anything that we are required to know to join this world.
From this podcast, we will help you to unlock how the Metaverse is going to impact your brand, your business, and even your personal life.
Join us as we take the mystery out of this new digital universe.
Welcome to Women of the Metaverse. In this episode, the last episode of season 2, we're going to reflect back on all the episodes, what we've learnt, which episode we enjoyed the most, what surprised us, and what is coming for season 3. So, without further ado, first question is for Angela. How would you summarize the main theme of this season, Angela?
AI, just AI. It has gone crazy because bearing in mind when we started recording this season, I can't remember whether we had recorded an episode, but ChatGPT came out in November of last year. And the first season of this season 2 came out in January. So we didn't talk about ChatGPT for a few episodes, and just the craziness of it. And
I think we rewrote it, didn't we, a few times because it was just
because every week
updating
changed. And I think at the moment, the scale of which people or businesses are putting out AI products is it's just exponentially faster than anything else. And now we've got ChatGPT and Midjourney and then Bard, and then everyone is putting out their own AI version. So I think that over anything, and we didn't expect it. That's what's weird about this whole environment, this Web3 environment. AI wasn't on our radar when we finished season 1. So yeah, that's the theme.
Definitely. I completely agree with you. And what was the most challenging episode to record this season?
The most challenging. Oh God, I would maybe say the AI ones again, just because everything changed so quickly. So we might record an episode and then, because we try and record a month in advance. So we write a month in advance. And by the time we'd written something, it had changed. So that probably was initially trying to just keep up with it and understand what people needed to know about it. That was probably the most challenging thing this season.
We did have to change a few episodes around in order to just release it so that it wouldn't be out of a date.
Yes. Or we would write an episode and then somebody would come out of AI and we'd think, oh, that's important information, we should add it. So
yeah,
those were the ones that were like, oh my God, we've got to change it again.
Definitely.
So Cheryl, question for you. What did you learn with regard to the importance of avatars across brands? Because we talked about those a lot.
Yes. I loved working and researching all about avatars. And actually, as a result, I learned how easy it was to actually create them and just how gorgeous they can be. I mean, obviously, they don't have to be gorgeous. They could be ugly and robotic and all the rest of it. But we actually got into a groove where Andrew and I were sending each other avatars just for our own pleasure. You know, we're like, this could be a poster on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I still haven't done my London Web Girl avatar yet, but I just need half a day to just go in and create her because, you know, I need some more mini me's.
If you listen back to season 1, how much when I say we, I probably mean me, complained about the avatar that we did in Meta for, Horizon, and how terrible it was and how like a cartoon it was compared to what an avatar can look like now, which is a real person.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And I think the other thing too, we were trying to get across with season 2 is how they can become part of your brand and how they can be used alongside yourself if you're the face of your brand.
Definitely. I mean, we've got ours, don't we? And what we done is from season 1 to season 2, they've changed up. And then in
Yes.
season 3, we'll probably change them up. But they're
Yeah,
going
but there'll be a
to
drastic
change
change.
so much.
Yeah, there's because in season 2 we changed the outfits, and I think you might have changed your
Changed my
did
hair.
Did we change your hair? But in season 3, they are gonna look like real people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how much the technology has come on. But I think of all the things, if you're not a fan of the technology, avatars are something that you could do quite easily and add them to your brand. So
definitely going to have a look at the Midjourney episode that we did this season, and we've got the Discord one that's just been released as well. But yeah, have a little look, have a little explore. It's good fun.
Yeah, have a play.
Fun. So what was your favorite moment or episode from this season?
I'm going to say the episode we did about weddings. So weddings in Web3. And there are a few of these type of episodes where we talked about industries. So fitness, food and drink, different beauty we did. And it's because of the creativity, and you look at how businesses are being really creative about the metaverse and about how they use all the components of it. So NFTs and the metaverse and AI to create things.
Smart contracts as well.
Smart contracts. It
was a clever episode. I think that Angela wanted to pack her bags and literally
start a wedding. A wedding visit. But I think listening to those episodes, even if you think, well, I've got nothing to do with weddings, what it gives you is ideas about what you could do in your own brand. And I think the other thing that it helps to do is you don't have to go all in. So there's some lovely ideas on the wedding industry where a couple have exchanged NFTs as gifts. So that's smart contracts, that's NFTs, that's, there's different components of it, and the ideas that you could take from that. Those are the sort of episodes I really enjoy. When
that was a good one.
Ideas, yeah,
it was a good one, yeah.
Definitely. So Cheryl, which episode or moment did you enjoy the most, and why?
For me, my favorite episode was Web3 domains. And I think that was because before I did any research, I just was like, why are we having Web3 domains? What's the difference? But there's a whole load of difference between a Web2 domain and a Web3 domain, which I had no idea about until I delved in and did the research for the episode. So the fact that you can keep everything on your Web3, it's kind of like your base.
Can be
base
like
for everything. Yeah, basically. So that I think that was a rather interesting and informative episode, not just for myself, but for the listeners too. So definitely take a little listen.
And they're cheap to buy too. So you should snap yours up now.
Well, they're one-off payments as well, whereas obviously Web2 domains are annual payments of like 11 quid. So
plus the hosting.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
So it can, and you don't really own it, do you? Because
you have to rent it.
Yeah. Whereas you own your Web3 domain.
So Angela, was there any surprises for you in this season? Any unexpected insights or revelations?
Okay. So the surprise isn't going to be a surprise. It was AI. It just came at us. Like when we were planning season 2, wasn't on the radar. So that was a big one. I think the other unexpected insights or revelations also was the NFT market really dropped. So the actual pieces of art that you would buy, they dropped drastically in price. But the use of tokens and how brands are using tokens was a bit of a surprise because we hadn't thought about it. And Gary Vaynerchuk, I can't remember, I think that was season 1, we maybe have done that. But then you look at things like Starbucks Odessey that have brought out their digital tokens. And also we did an episode about Kathy Hackle's VerseLuxe jewelry collection, where she used where she's got NFC and she uses tokens and smart contracts. So I think that was a big revelation around how you can use tokens in your business. And I really like that again, because you can get incredibly creative. It's not expensive. You can do it yourself. And the same, we just spoke about the wedding episode where a couple created tokens and smart contracts as a gift for each other. So that probably was a bit of a surprise as well. We weren't expecting, because we thought the NFT market was going to go crazy. And actually, it wasn't that. It became more about the use of tokens.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Okay, Cheryl, one for you. How have your views on the metaverse changed this season?
Well, it actually has. And that is because of all the, I'm going to say it again, episodes. That is because of all the TikToks that I've watched on doing research on the metaverse, on what's coming, there's so much controversial information out there in terms of, is it actually going to be a thing? Now, I have learned that gamers are so over the sort of VR aspect of the metaverse, but the 2D versions that they still play in their room or wherever they're, playing is actually the metaverse. It doesn't actually mean that we're going to be immersed into this world. So when we started the podcast, I was very much like in the thoughts that we would have a world that we would walk into all the time. But I realize now that the metaverse doesn't actually mean that it's a 3D immersive world, because we're going to be using these kind of tools in the fashion houses as we walk in, and it will scan our bodies and it'll be able to show us every single dress in the shop. So by doing all the research from this episode, it's made me realize that there's elements that will be entwined into our lives that we might not even realize is, quote unquote, a metaverse.
Yeah,
technology.
I think giving it a name has meant people think of it as a thing.
Yes.
And it's a collection of technologies that just continue to grow and expand. And you are using it today. And you
Without
are
even realizing it.
Yeah. And you're speaking to companies who are using it. So yeah, when you hear these kind of videos or narrative that, the metaverse is dying and it's never going, it's not true, because the technology exists.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, that's a good one.
So how has hosting this season affected you personally?
The thing I got is almost a little bit of panic, because trying to keep up, and you think, I need to do this and I need to learn this and I need to know this. So yeah,
because the more you learn, the more you want to do and get involved in it more.
Yes. And also TikTok, because now my algorithm feeds me this information, I'm constantly getting hit with videos that, you should be doing this and you can make all this money doing this and you shouldn't. So I would say I've loved it, because I've learned a huge amount again, that had we not been doing this podcast, I maybe wouldn't have learned as much. But yeah, there is an element of not panic, maybe frustration, that I need to
more time, more spare time,
and also sort of try and pinpoint how we want to take advantage or make use of, and also for my own brand, what I can use it for. So yeah, that's it has affected me, because everything has changed so quickly.
And also, what the listeners don't know is that Angela's made a new brand behind the scenes that I absolutely adore. So it's all to be revealed very, very soon. But
yes,
this is all off of the back of knowing and researching throughout this season 2, for sure.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. For you, Cheryl, what valuable skills or insights have you gained from this season?
For me, it's definitely prompting.
Yes.
Prompting has been a key to making my life more streamlined, more process driven. I haven't been diagnosed, but I think I've got ADHD, and it's just made my life so much easier in terms of using Midjourney, creating images. I mean, our whole podcast now is done using AI, Midjourney images, but in order to create them, you need to learn how to prompt, which basically means what you're feeding the machine. Same with ChatGPT. What it kicks out is always it depends how good you feed the machine, how good the prompt is.
Yeah.
So for me, my valuable skill is prompting. I'm going to be queen of the prompts.
Yeah, that's such a good one, because if you look at when we first started, Midjourney is a perfect one because you really get this visual of how good you are and are not. And we look at some of the images we first started to create for the, cover art and the social media for the podcast, and you look at what comes out now. I mean, obviously Midjourney also have gone through change. So what Midjourney gives you is way better. But Cheryl and I have really learned to prompt well to get the results we want, to ask the right question. So yeah, that's a really good one. And if you're looking for a skill, learn to prompt.
Yeah, definitely. I'm part of a Facebook group for prompting, and they share the results of some of the things that,
it's
very, very funny.
And something I showed Cheryl one the other day, I was doing for some social media images, and I had one that gave me 3 legs. So you still get those. And the hands are really bad. But
do you know what I had yesterday, which I didn't screenshot because I was in the office, but I was doing a networking event for one of my new clients, and there was a man and a woman. Well, basically, a woman's legs. So she had a mini skirt on with high heels, and then the top half of him, she, them, was a man in a suit.
Okay.
So, yeah. I thought that was really funny.
The other one that we had to get round as well is Cheryl was doing some images of a woman, and she was trying to get around. Was it about 50 years old?
Oh yeah,
and it was given. It's a bit ageist.
Yes,
because
you're either really young or you're really old. In
yeah, there's no
middle ground.
Yeah. So, but then it's all part of it is learning how that skill of prompting to get what you want. But of all the skills that you can learn that are going to help you in your job in the future, it is prompting and understanding AI.
So, Angela, can you share a memorable comment or question we received from a listener this season?
So I was talking to somebody about the podcast and about Midjourney and ChatGPT, and they didn't know about it. They had heard of it. Well, they'd heard of ChatGPT, but they hadn't heard of Midjourney. And I was really shocked about this because this particular person does work in a social media industry. And I showed her some stuff that you could do and talked to her again about prompting. But I think probably Cheryl and I are so immersed in this because of how much research we do, that was memorable to me, because it showed me that there are still so many people who are not even diving into it, not even understanding what's out there that could help their businesses or help them to retain their career. And yeah, I do find it a little worrying, to be honest with you, because people are concerned about it, yet it's there for you to learn. And I mean, Google itself has, I think it's like 10 courses that are free to understand this. A lot of them actually have free courses. So that was probably the most memorable. We're so immersed in it that I was really shocked, particularly because of the industry she worked in, that she didn't even know about certain AI apps or tools she could use.
It's still very much a taboo subject, which always shocks Angela and I, because we've been researching it for about 2.5 years now. So you know, you are a little bit taken back. Is it only what's the I think we've already said the stat on
I
this
was
season.
thinking the same thing.
Yeah,
and
were
I was trying to
you?
remember. It's
Is
something
it
really
10%,
ridiculous.
only
Yeah.
10% of people have used ChatGPT,
Something
but
like
only
that.
2% are women or something.
We'll try and find the stat if we can. It is definitely in an episode, but it is incredibly low. And what concerns me is there's so many people talking about how they fear for their jobs because of AI. And you think, well, if you learn it, you could create something from it. So either it could help you stay in your job or you could create something else from it. You can't fight it. It's here. And companies are going to use it. And, you know, many companies are maybe not going to use it very ethically. So some people will lose their jobs. But what it creates is a whole world of opportunity for you as well. So you could create a film yourself just using the tools that are available to you, or you can write a book. And I don't mean in a way where you just go into ChatGPT and say, write a book for me, but you can write it faster. You can automate. You can create video. You can create graphics. So I think that's probably the thing that shocked me the most is how people are resistant to using it or don't even know what exists.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Cheryl, what's one behind the scenes fact about our podcast that our listeners might find surprising?
Okay, well, we do everything ourselves from
Yes,
obviously we do our own researching, then we do the scripting, and then we edit, then we transcribe it, then we put it on YouTube, then we what else do we do?
Do all the social media.
Obviously we do the socials. So yeah, there's not one, you know, it's hard work. We put all our efforts into making sure that the episodes go out. We got the right equipment, and we're usually doing it in our PJs.
We're recording this at 9:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I think that's what
I'm dressed
people,
though this time. I'm
yeah.
dressed.
I was usually wearing a dressing gown, but Cheryl fully dressed, wear a dressing gown anyway.
Any season.
Yeah, with a hot water bottle.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. But yes, so there are many times where we have to stop recording because Amazon is at the door, or
yeah,
my dad needs something, or the dog is barking, or the plumber arrives, or just
anything.
So yeah. So I think, and it's a lot of work. We don't outsource anything. So I think, mate, that's a good one.
Mm. So can you give our listeners a sneak peek of what's coming in season 3, Angela?
Yes. So we had a chat about this quite a while ago, but it comes a little bit off some of the comments that we've had from our clients just in general. And what we're going to do in season 3 is actually go back to episodes we have already recorded and break them down a little more for to try and make them easier to understand, or because we now understand it more, we can give more information. And also we're going to look at some of the projects and see how they are doing. So World of Women, Bored Ape Yacht Club, are they still as successful? What are their plans?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're now going to try and go back over and give you more information, I think. Yes.
Yeah. Well, we also noticed in season 2 that there's been a lot of talk about automation, which is basically goes hand in hand with AI. And we're going to dive a little bit more into how we can automate things. But again, it's just about the research and downtime.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think that's a good one too, to include for season 3.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So personally, I would like to say thank you so much to everybody that listened to the podcast and fed back and gave us comments and just have been here supporting us. We've had some lovely comments from people. So I just want to say thank you very much.
Absolutely. I'm going to echo that. If you would like to leave a little review, it would really help us climb the ranks in our podcast charts. And if there's anything that you would like to learn more in season 3, then do drop us a little, I was going to say tweet then.
Yeah. Don't know what they call it. You could drop us a thread, I guess.
Yeah, a thread or an Insta message or anything, or an email.
Or TikTok or anywhere.
And let us know what you want. Yeah, pick up the phone. No. Just let us know what you'd like to learn more. If you want us to break down a certain category, we would love to hear your thoughts too.
So we hope you have enjoyed this episode. Join us in season 3 as we continue our journey into the metaverse. Bye for now.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Women of the Metaverse.
You can find all information, links, and people we talked about in the show notes on our website.
If you have enjoyed this podcast, please comment and subscribe.
Join us again in the next episode as we continue this exciting metaverse journey.